Hi everyone. So now that we have discussed about the concept of factors of production, and since now we have discussed about what scarcity is and what limited resources mean, we can now move on to discuss the a very important concept in economics, that is the concept of opportunity cost. Now, what opportunity cost is? Let's start with the definition of opportunity cost. Opportunity cost refers to the cost of the next best alternative that is foregone when a choice is made. Now, in simpler terms, it basically represents the benefit foregone when you make a choice, right? Because when individuals, businesses, and the government makes a choice, they forego a benefit of what they could have done otherwise. In simpler terms, it basically means that what you miss out on if you could have chosen another option. So that is something that is represented by opportunity cost. And why does opportunity cost arise? That is because we talked about the concept that there is scarcity of resources. And when there is scarcity of resources, we also talked about individuals, government, and businesses cannot achieve all of the things that they want to, and therefore a choice needs to be made, right? And whenever there is a choice that needs to be made, a choice eventually leads to an opportunity cost arising, because you need to choose between alternative, and choosing one alternative will mean that you're foregoing the benefit of another alternative that you could have gotten. And that is what the concept of opportunity cost is. Now, why does opportunity cost arise, and why opportunity cost arise? That is because the number one thing is that there are more than one alternative that exists, and resources are limited. So scarcity is the fundamental reason why people have to make choices, and when choices are made, an opportunity cost always arise. Now we need to understand in economics in our course that how does opportunity cost influence different economic agents. So starting off with, at if we talk about an individual level, एक इंडिविजुअल लेवल के ऊपर let's talk about कि how consumers face an opportunity cost, because consumers have limited incomes, as we talked about earlier as well. Consumers have to make purchase decisions, right? And that means that they cannot buy everything that they want to. And therefore, when they need to make a choice about where to spend their income, if they have to forego something, right? So a trade off needs to be made. And when a trade off is made, an opportunity cost arises. For example, if a person can might have to decide whether they want to spend money on vacation, or they might have to save it for future medical expenses, right? So either of the option, if it's chosen, the benefit that they could have gotten from the other option becomes their opportunity cost. Another way that at individual level people face opportunity cost is as workers, right? Workers have limited time, so they need to decide how many working hours they need to make, and how much income they need to earn. Obviously there are only 24 hours available in the day, so worker needs to decide whether to work or spend in leisure, right? So for example, if I as a teacher, I am teaching in a school, I could have spent that time sitting in my lounge and enjoying a Netflix show. So that leisure time that I'm foregoing, that benefit that I could have gotten, the satisfaction, the comfort that I could have gotten from that leisure time, I'm foregoing that to work. So workers have to face an opportunity cost as well, because they need to choose whether to work or to spend time in leisure. As Let's talk about another example. Students also face an opportunity cost. For example, if students have limited time as well, they can either start a job today or go to college for for let's say 4 years. So the earnings that they're foregoing by going to a college or a university, the earnings that they're giving up, which they could have earned by doing a job instead of studying, that becomes their opportunity cost. Further on, we let's talk about okay, how opportunity cost impacts economic agents at a business level. If we talk about a business level, we talked about okay, business has a limited amount of factors of production available with them, right? So business cannot produce everything that they want to. So that would mean that they would need to decide, let's suppose, for example, producing cars, or let's suppose producing bikes, but they cannot do both at the same time. So some businesses might have to choose between what good they need to produce. In addition to that, at business level, they need another type of opportunity cost that arises is in investment decisions, because businesses have a vast area of functions they need to perform, and that is why they need to make their investment decisions wisely. So for example, they might have to decide whether they want to introduce a new technology or expand their existing workforce, right? So this is a decision that they might have to make, and that involves a choice, and eventually a choice would eventually lead to an opportunity cost being made. Finally, if we talk about the government, we also talked about this in the earlier lecture as well. Government level के ऊपर the primary opportunity cost that the government faces in the budget allocation, as we discussed earlier as well, the government might need to decide that whether to spend on education versus healthcare, right? They might need to decide should they spend more budget towards education, or should they spend more budget towards healthcare, because they have limited tax revenues, and if they spend more on education, they might not be able to spend on healthcare, and the societal benefits that they could have gotten by spending on healthcare becomes their opportunity cost. And that is how opportunity cost affects different economic agents at different levels. Remember this thing, that this question is asked for a 4 marker in your exam papers as well, so you should know examples of how opportunity cost influence the decisions of different economic agents. See you inshallah in the next video.